Hey, person with the Rubik's Cube here. So, yesterday in the reveal stream we saw every other card that was not revealed yet for Ashes of Outlands. We have like 140, 50, 60 cards, a bunch of them. And soonish we can actually play them. Great, right? Turns out that's how an expansion works. Anyways, the question is, what are the best and what are the worst cards? Worst cards, I mean, like, who cares? The best cards. That is what we talked about today. I just finished a 3-hour stream in which we talked about every single card in detail, and I mean every single card, which you can see on the Play Hearthstone website. What a transition, right? So with a few hundred viewers, we just discussed, are the cards good and are they broken? A good card is easy to distinguish. I mean, as an example, Hellbore, it's a 2-1 with an upside, right? Card is good. Who cares about good cards? You want that broken. The, I win the game if I play this. The, my opponent can't deal with this card. So we selected 15. Two things for that. This is based on my experience with Wild. This is not for Standard. Standard and Wild are different. So if you see me not including a single Paladin card because they're all bad, even though you have Librams, whatever those fancy cards are pronounced at, nobody will play that in Wild. It's like, yeah, this card could be 0 mana, but it doesn't do anything. That was number 1. Number 2, more importantly, today's the last day for the giveaway. So on Twitter and on Discord, you can just, have a chance to get the pre-order for free. I will use some RNG generator and then, select the winners in a few hours. Or tomorrow. Probably by tomorrow. You have like 1 day left. Keep in mind, when we look at the cards, they're not ranked by number 15, number 14, number 13. It's hard to evaluate if card number 14, the one that follows this one, is better or worse. Let's explain why Blood Broil Brute is our good boy here. It costs 1 less for each damaged minion, and it has Rush, while having 6, 8 in stats. Without any effect, just the Rush part. It's good. It's probably not constructed or competitive level good. It's easy to, cast a Moment effect. Play the Skyscraper from Galakrond's Awakening. Deal 1 damage to everything. Every minion gets damaged by 1. This probably costs like 2 mana. And as a 6-8 Rush, this can be insanely powerful. Also, it makes us hope that Patron Warrior is going to be great again. Then Relic of Souls. Great stats for 1-drop. We get a 1-1-1-3 lifesteal shuffle prime into your deck. Most prime minions are not on this list. The prime cards are just not, not that great. But considering the priest is not the best class, this one in priest is really powerful. You have your taunt lifesteal weapon. With weapon I mean shield, frost, ice monster that it's nice artwork. So it has taunt and lifesteal and only you can target that with spells and hero powers, which means if your opponent does not have a Battlecry effect on a minion or an AoE, he can't remove that, and you heal for sure. And usually if you play this, your opponent, I assume, does play some Zooish cards and just goes in. I do like the concept of prime cards. I do like the fact that you can even play your own Divine Spirit and a Fire on that, because why not? It's still in Wild, and it looks good. Our first Imprison card. While most of the dormant cards were not really rated that high by chat, and by me as well, I mean, you kind of lose the whole advantage you gain. This card, even according to Celestalon on Twitter, is really good. And I feel like really good is the only way I can express my positive emotions towards those cards. 5 mana 10/6, dormant for 2 turns. When this awakens, use the effect of Reno the Relicologist. The downside is this can go face. I assume if you pay 5 mana to do nothing for 2 turns, and then you get the effect, you rather hit enemy minions. This one is a good version of Reno. A better version of the Reno. Next, Demon Hunter card, Priestess of Fury. I think this is a little better than the one we had before. Just for the sheer fact you can play this on turn 5 if you played the 4 mana 4/4 that reduces demons by 2, or the next demon you play. And it's permanent. If your opponent plays a Zoo deck, and they don't have charge or rush cards, perhaps, you just full clear. If you play against any aggressive deck, and you have this effect, or 2 of those even, as I learned, that is good. Discard Warlock Time, Nightshade Matron. 4 mana 5/5 rush. Discard your highest cost card as a Battlecry. Reasons why this is great. First off, they pushed the Discard Warlock archetype yet again after I don't know how many years. Akari Sacrifice, my favorite quest of all time that we got during, 4 years ago, 3 years ago, has now more support. You can target certain cards with that. Discarding the highest cost card is the same effect as playing this one over there, which means you could play it and then discard Gul'dan, or you play this one and discard Gul'dan. In both cases, you can discard your 10 drops. You could also only play 6 mana cards as your highest cost cards and play Cruel Dinomancer, which could go on infinitely. The most important part is, this one has a good effect. The effect is Rush. It actually killed something, it's proactive. Most of the discard cards you have like Taunt. That's it. Taunt is more like, what does my opponent do against it? This one, you can decide what to do. And with the next card we're going to look at, this becomes even better. We don't look at the Fist of Jaraxxus or the Skull of the Monari, but at the Hand of Gul'dan. Look at this. 6 mana. When you play or discard this, draw 3 cards. It's 0 mana, draw 3. It's Pot of Greed, but better. You might not know what Pot of Greed does, but Head of Gul'dan, I can tell you what it does. It draws you your cards for free. And then we have somebody who is hotter than the summer, a Blackjack Stunner. Whew, those rhymes. 1 mana, 1/2 Battlecry. If you control a secret, return a minion to its owner's hand, it costs 2 more. I know, crazy effect. Here is the reason why. The secrets for Rogue are kinda bad. Let's just be honest here, most of them are bad. Even though they're kinda mediocre, kinda bad, this effect is Sap and Freezing Trap combined. They fuse. You are reactive. Where secrets are kinda passive, your opponent has to play into them. This one allows you to just be like, nope. Mage right now in white is tier 1. And we're speaking about Secret Mage and Reno Secret Mage. And Reno Quest Mage and Quest Mage, like every form of Mage is tier 1, unless you play Odd, which is kinda weird. And Evocation finishes your quest. Keep in mind you only have to play 6 spells that did not start in your deck. And this is 1 mana, it fills your entire hand with spells that didn't start in your deck. I'm all up for random mage, right? Get your random spells, have some fun against friends on ladder. This one is not made for random mage. This one is to make a tier 1 deck better. And I don't like that. But it's not about what I like, it's about what Blizzard wants to make. I hope I'm wrong about this card and nobody plays it, as it seems so strong. Speaking of powerful, Skull of Gul'dan. Outcast means, as a keyword, if the card is in your left or rightmost spot in your hand, it has an additional effect. So basically you draw 3 cards, and you reduce the cost by 3 each. And if you draw into a second Skull of Gul'dan, you use 7 mana, you draw 5 cards, and they're reduced by 15 mana in total. So you get 8 mana for free, and a bunch of cards. If this is in your left or rightmost spot in your hand, it's basically your Torquaggle's Wondrous Wand. This spell up here. Obviously a little bit different, but you can play 2 of those, and you're guaranteed to have them in your deck. That seems insanely good to me. But then I gotta argue. Yesterday they revealed all the other cards. You know, they had show matches, they played this class against that, usually to fatigue and bore everybody. But at one point they played Rogue against Demon Hunter. And Secret Rogue just completely obliterated Demon Hunter. So, if this one is in there, in Demon Hunter, maybe that would have changed the entire outcome. Maybe this card alone makes our new favorite class, that we will all play on day 1, maybe, a lot better than it already was. Druid Demon. Imprisoned Satyr. Satyr, that's how you say it. Satyr. I think I remember that. In any case, if you play Aviana, you play Kunia, you play Malagos. Due to Sight Melon, you can guarantee to get X amount of cards in your hand. And because you can play 2 of each, it is very likely to happen. After being dominant for 2 turns, a minion in your hand by -5 mana. Meaning, even if you just hit Auctioneer, for example, you have a 1 mana Auctioneer, you draw your entire deck easily. You reduce Kael'thas, you draw your entire deck easily. More Druid cards. Even though this one is straightforward, gain 2 empty mana crystals. The fact that both Wild Growth and the other one is 3 mana, and this one is only +1 mana, but you gain 2 mana crystals, makes me wonder, can Druid just play like 3 different ram spells, go to like 10 mana on turn 5, and win? Probably. Most likely, yeah. Then we got a neutral legendary, Maeve. 4 mana 4/3, Battlecry, choose a minion, it goes dormant for 2 turns. This is just your basic removal for every single class. Your opponent has Taunt? He doesn't. Your opponent has a minion? No, he doesn't. I think it was Bloodyface on Twitter who said that this card would be even too good at 5 mana. It's going to be the Zilliax that most decks are going to include this. All they want. I mean, it's all speculation, right? The pre-release event is going to happen in a few hours from now, so we will see what people play and think about when they theory craft decks and play against each other. Which will be live, I think, at 5 PM CET, 9 AM PST. So you're going to see for yourself if this card is actually that good. But I think it will be a staple, just because the effect is basically remove something. I do like my Worgen Infiltrator, and this one has +1 attack. This has 3 attack and has stealth. This one 100% trades into a 2-drop easily. And if not, you play Odd Rogue or any aggressive Pirate Rogue deck. And you just go face. That is half a Leroy for 1 mana. If you combo it with Ash Tongue Slayer, and even though I don't count Ash Tongue to one of the top cards, if you combo it with this guy, you have a 6 attack 1-drop that is immune for a turn. One more rogue card, Greyheart Sage. If you control a stealth minion, draw 2 cards. As we just saw, having a stealth minion is not that hard. And the effect itself is basically you cast Arcane Intellect for yourself, which you can do on curve. The thing about rogues is, they don't really run card draw, unless they play mill rogue. If you play an aggressive rogue deck, there is no card draw, besides Maras and Stable Element. Meaning you usually rely on, do I have this, or do I just top deck and lose? And with Greyheart Sage, which you can play twice, you draw like 4 cards from your deck, while also summoning a 3/3, which is a good body for the cost. And lastly, Incanter's Flow. The reason for that is, you play Emperor Taurustin in a lot of decks for the past 5 years. You play Magpapa Galvanizer. Why? Because you reduce the cost of your stuff. You play Incanter's Flow to reduce the cost of your stuff. And you can play 2 of those. Your Pyroblast can be 8 mana again, like it used to be. And if you also have a Frostbolt and spell damage in hand, you can miss lethal with 11+4. It's a great card for meme decks. You shouldn't play that in Secret Mage, but most of you will, because I will make an updated deck list and I will show you this card in there, very likely. And then we all go face, because Fireball is 2 mana, Frostbolt is 0 mana. Yeah, looking forward to that. In short, all those cards seem insanely powerful. The power level, I guess, is higher than in every expansion prior. I mean, they kind of have to, because, you know, how do you keep people playing? Interesting design? Of course not. No, who cares about interesting design? Who cares about stuff like this? So deal 3 damage to minion and all others of the same minion type. Why would you? Who cares? No, interesting design, horrible. Make it a 5 mana 3/3. You don't care about that. No, you're gonna make the good decks better and the broken cards broken. And 2 more things. The honorable mentions, basically. Infectious Spalling. If I got this card right, it means after this damages a minion, turn it into an Infectious Spalling. So if my opponent has, let's say, a 5/5, and I attack into it, my minion dies, because, you know, the opponent's 5/5 kills this. And the opponent now has an Infectious Spalling as well instead of the 5/5. Which means he has this card and he can attack into my minion. And I attack into one of his minions. So in short, this could go on forever. I like the idea of that. And lastly, for the best designed card of the whole expansion, has to be Bladestorm. Artwork, sick. Effect, it's good. Not broken, but good. The name, sick. It all fits. Perfect flavor for Warrior. Bladestorm, mwah. I'm not Italian, but it's porco dio. I meant that. Yeah, it's really that. Maybe I meant a different word. Anyways, lovely card. Looking forward to getting this in golden. Just overall saying for the whole expansion, the artwork, great. The artwork is so good for some of the cards. Like, real quick, look at the Druid card. Look at the Hydra that nobody is going to play, because why would you? But look at it. Beautiful. This looks so good. And in golden, I assume they will have great animations. And with that being said, as a reminder, live stream for those cards. 16 different streamers can play those cards early on, because why not? On Twitch, so you can see the expansion early. Which leads me to the outro of this, which is actually a question towards you. What do you think about that? Not just the cards overall, but the fact that 16 people, 16 handpicked selected people can play the expansion before everybody else. Because I looked at the Twitter thread, and people don't like this. Every single time this happens, there's somewhat of an outcry. Not just on Twitter, but also on Reddit. I mean, obviously, Reddit, everybody hates everything. On Twitter, everybody hates everything. But I would like to know your honest opinion. Do you think it's good, bad? We have a different opinion. Do you care about that at all? My personal thought is, as I mentioned in that thread, that apparently a lot of you guys agreed on, is that there should be a better solution than just, having X amount of people playing the cards already, and you are sitting there and, seeing them have fun. But that might be just me, might be just some of you, maybe the majority of you just doesn't care. Apparently, most of you don't care, or you would like the video more often. Like 8% of you, on a good day. Click on like or dislike. Feel free to like the video or not. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I might even make something like a short survey or poll about this, how this could be handled better. My name is Solem. I'm looking forward to playing those cards myself. We will have so many meme decks. If you have any ideas, please let me know in Discord or let me know in the comments. I'm looking forward to it. I already have some stupid combos planned. And it's only 1.5 weeks away. Also, don't forget, there's also going to be the Hall of Fame rotation. There's going to be the no duplicate rule for packs. So we get some stuff today, which is why we have an early video. You guys take care. Have a nice day.